Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. Welcome to the show. Unfortunately, it's an unhappy show because it's the unhappy hour.
Brought to you by Unhappiness.
By these sad two people here. Well, there's been a lot to be happy about. Mercury's retrograde. The US is crazy, the world is crazy, everything is crazy, but we're going to try to turn some of those frowns upside down, aren't we, Mr. O?
Right, the Unhappy Hour is our specific program timed to the fourth quarter phase of the moon, and we're sort of dealing with that kind of sense of the final throes of darkness before everything starts coming light again. But this feeling may pervade over the next 4 weeks till the next moon change. And so we want to try to pinpoint for the elemental signs of the zodiac where this is going.
What makes you unhappy right now, and how to turn that frown upside down.
And then, as a bonus, we do one kind of collective for the world. What's bumming the world right now?
So we'll see what's bumming the world too.
So
why not? What the heck? Grab a deck.
So we're going to start off with the air signs.
Air signs, definitely Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. This reading's for you for the week ahead, for the 4 weeks ahead. What is making you unhappy? Don't worry, be happy. It's not that simple sometimes, though, is it, Mr. O? Here you go.
I know it is not.
And, of course, we're using the This Might Hurt Tarot for this reading. Did you bend a card?
No, I did something.
Going to make me very unhappy.
I dropped it.
Sometimes when you're unhappy, patience is important. I've shuffled already, so cut them.
Patience is important.
Okay, I'll wait. I got all day. Mr. O is emulating the sloth way to do tarot cutting. All right, I'm sorry for all the drama for you air signs. Let's see what's making...
What is or will be making you unhappy?
And if we haven't mentioned it, all the cards in this reading are reversed. So what's making you unhappy? Clearly something. Look at that. It's the star reversed.
The star reversed.
And the star reversed is basically saying...
over.
And the star reversed is basically saying... You feel gloomy right now. You don't... It seems like it's hard for you to muster up the enthusiasm or the optimism to, move things forward. Maybe, you're being... Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed by everything going on. A lot of people have been affected by layoffs lately, lost income. Farmers have been struggling in certain areas because of some of the tariffs and whatnot. For example, in the U.S. So if you're caught up in some of this, you're just feeling the future looks kind of bleak right now, and it's making you feel very unhappy.
Well, even in the global perspective, there's a lot of misery to share everywhere. Here in the States, it may be almost the worst in some respects. And certainly, we are not ignorant of that. The star means that the air signs feel there's a real dim view of their future. There's a real poor chance of destiny working out for them.
So how exactly are you dealing with this, or will be dealing with this unhappiness? Ooh, well, it's the 8. It's the 8 of wands, reversed, of course. And so that is telling me that you're not dealing with it very well. it's possible here you're just burnt out. Maybe you're burnt out. You've been working too hard. You've been trying to right some wrongs, whether it's with investments that have gone south or if you have lost a job, but you seem to be missing your mark. You're scattering yourself, you're spreading yourself way too thin, and you're burning out.
I couldn't have said it any better. There is an extreme sense, especially in the context of this reading, that the air signs feel hugely burnout. They feel like they have totally lost their cool or their focus or their driver motivation. They're dealing with this by just saying, I'm done.
Well, air signs, so why are your feelings justified? Well, the moon is here, and it is reversed, of course. Your feelings are, I'll move it down, your feelings are justified because maybe there's something in, it's one of two things. Either you have just found out some revelations that are worrying you, that are causing you to be anxious, that are causing you to feel less optimistic about the future, whether it's economic reports, whether it's, some fears of layoffs or some uncertainty in your company or your work, or, just in your basic necessities, how you're going to make ends meet. And oh, one more thing, and if it's not something you find out, it's just a feeling in your gut that's surfacing and it's causing this circle.
Just from a symbolic view, the moon either way sort of casts a unnatural feel here, like there's something that's really mysterious or scary even, just depicted on the card. It looks like lycanthrope kind of energies there. And of course, who hasn't seen a really scary werewolf movie, so it does feel like our feelings are justified because there's something we're concerned with and we don't know what it is, and it really scares us or bothers us, or it feels like it's even a premonition that we don't understand.
Yeah. So how do we turn this frown upside down, air signs? What can you do? All right. It's the six of wands reversed. You got a couple of wands here, it doesn't, and with the star, I can't help but think that this may be about work, or the work, your whole work life balance. I feel here you can't rely on others to pull you out of this mess. This is something you're going to have to pick yourself up and do on your own. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and I don't mean to be platitudinous here and saying that, just pick yourself up, get up on your feet. I know it's not going to be easy, but, people may have their own issues right now, and they may not be able to support you in the way you had hoped. And for that matter, even your company. So it's up to you to, if it's about work, it's up to you to right this ship and move it forward. And also realize here, there's no, how do I want to say this? There's no gratitude or appreciation for this coming from outside. Do this because it's important to you, right? You have to do this because it's something you need and you desire, and it'll make you successful. This isn't a matter of, being there for others right now. This is doing it for yourself.
Many times the Six of Wands sort of in this position indicates that you can't really expect other people to notice you or what you're doing. And so that's the feeling here, is you have to kind of realize that like Banshee said, no one's going to be noticing your problems, and it's really because everyone has these problems, whether it
A
is
lot of
specific
people do.
to just the air signs or not. It isn't really. There's a lot of this going around for everyone. We're only trying to tell you how the air signs are reacting to key points here. So what this really says is pretty much what Banshee said, that you have to find it within yourself to keep going on, that maybe today or tomorrow or even next week is not necessarily going to turn the tide for you, uh, especially if it comes to being able to grow at all from this. the growth you find, the growth you interact with other people will be on relatively more modest terms.
So let's recap this if we can for the air signs.
Mm-hmm.
It looks as though you have a lot of pessimism and, you are lacking the motivation and the drive to carry things forward because you just don't feel very optimistic about your life or, the things going on around you right now.
Right, and in addition, there just seems to be a lack of focus, a lack of, we call it burnout, or a lack
Right.
of being able to kind of roll with it.
You can't roll with it well. You've been trying too hard, maybe. Maybe you need to also lighten up on yourself a little bit here. I know everybody, like, for example, if you've lost a job or you're having problems just with all the high costs of living, that, you've got to find a way through this, and you're not going to do it if you've pushed yourself to the limit. You need some balance here in order to make the right decisions and the right moves.
It scares you,
Yeah.
or it could scare you because you don't, it's the unknown, you don't know what's happening. That's
And how you can, right, why are you feeling this way? Because this is a very uncertain time right now, and your gut is telling you, giving you all these little red alert signs and warnings that, you need to be careful. And also, it just maybe you get some news of some sort that has triggered this. It's possible some news you've received, either a stock decline, your business is failing, your profits are off. It's something that comes in and you realize something is really, and it's triggering you. I don't know what to say other than that. And finally, don't expect others to be of much help at this time or to even recognize the circumstances you are in, unless, of course, you ask for assistance. But really, this is something you're going to have to figure out on your own and make the best moves possible. So try to get out of this burnt out mindset. Give yourself a break a little bit and some time to really sort things through. Good luck with that.
good luck, air signs.
Let's move on to the fire signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius.
All right, and let's hopefully find that the fire signs.
That nothing is making me unhappy.
That would make me happy.
Because when I'm unhappy, those water signs, they just soak up our fiery unhappiness like a sponge.
Ouch, it burns.
And sponges don't do well with fire. All right. Okay, my friends, my fellow fire signs, what is making us unhappy? Oh, you would pull that
You don't feel
this week.
you don't feel that luck is with you. It's almost very similar to the star for the air signs, but maybe it's more specific to the idea that fire signs may feel that some of their own actions are bringing in this bad luck, or that it is truly fateful, but that the control that they normally would have is shattered and they really can't handle that. That makes them very unhappy.
For fire signs, it looks like luck is not on our side right now, which is unfortunate. And timing could be off, and one has to factor in the Mercury retrograde on this. I feel here that maybe you're frustrated because you can't make the connections you're trying to make. You're trying to get some messages out, or maybe some job applications out, and nobody's calling you back. It just feels as though the timing for whatever it is you're doing or want to do is off.
So how are the fire signs actually dealing or will be dealing?
Ooh. Not very well. It's the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is reversed. So our emotions are just roiling right now. They're all over the place. We're upset because we're really hoping, for a lucky, maybe some luck to occur, some possible, whether you were trying to get a bonus this Christmas season, or a raise in pay, a good grades. It just seems as though whatever the case may be that's falling apart for you and is making you sad. It's making you very sad, and you might be acting out a little bit because of that.
Well, the first card was what was making us unhappy, and maybe it was the sense that we weren't totally in control of where we were going. We didn't feel as lucky as we wanted to about things. This card is really maybe saying we're just going to go somewhere and look for our luck elsewhere. This is a card of movement in a way, the Knight, and so this could be saying that, whether it's physically or otherwise, fire signs may be deciding that they should look elsewhere for their luck or elsewhere for lucky things to happen to them. A road trip, perhaps.
Well, I suppose on the one hand, that could be considered a good thing that maybe you're doing that. But I also feel here that movement, because your emotions are unbalanced, it's not a good time to make any major moves when you feel so unbalanced.
It didn't say that this was the best way to deal with the unhappiness.
No, it did not. It did not.
All right, card 3. Are the fire signs' feelings justified? And it's the reversed Page of Wands. So it may be feeling like you've been waiting for something to give you that sense of yes, and maybe that's why your feelings may be or may be not justified, because you're not necessarily willing to act appropriately on whatever that information actually is.
Well, I'm going to go a little bit different with this one, but not too far off. But I said in the beginning that you wanted to start something, you wanted to get something off the ground, or you were hoping to make a move, whether it was for a new job or something else, and it's not happening. Your feelings are justified because it just doesn't seem to be happening right now. Timing is off. It's not working out. If you were trying to, for example, in a company, hey, the holidays are here, and if you were releasing a new product line or something like that and hoping customers would buy in, well, money's tight right now for a lot of people, so maybe it's not turning out the way you had thought it was. Messages or indicators are coming in that show that something is not working out to your advantage.
Card 4. How will the fire signs turn their frown upside down, or will they?
Well, not this way. This is the Queen of Swords reversed. I think if we look at what she needs to change, I think you need to stop feeling so much so you can think more clearly. So you can think more clearly about what you need to do going forward. And maybe it's a matter of if the timing is off, and if you even think the Mercury retrograde has something to do with that, then maybe you could hold off for a while before you make your, try again or move in another direction, as Mr. O suggested could be happening. But you really need more clarity of thought here. And also, you need to look at your situation objectively. You might, I'm looking at this queen here, and I mean, you're so emotional about what's going on that maybe you're just not seeing the bigger picture. And that's what you need to do.
I'm going to be slightly different, but I liked what you said, because fire signs are probably not used to having that sense of emotionality that the King of Cups or Knight of Cups has. And so they don't always handle that well. Being emotional means danger, really. And
danger, Will Robinson.
And so it's more likely that they do indeed have to get a handle on their more clear, logical, informed way of thinking here. Having said that, this may
Yes.
be saying that they have to also be willing to make certain decisions or go certain paths that others may say, why are you doing that? You shouldn't do that. Because it's really for them. It's for them to tip the scales on the unhappiness. And so fire signs may feel they have to do something that's very logical to them, but nobody else may understand.
There are few that understand what Aries does.
There's less that understand Scorpio.
Oh, I guess.
All right.
All right, I'll let you live that fantasy.
So the recap sort of indicates that you don't feel like you control certain aspects of your destiny, or you feel you're unlucky and things are just not under your control.
Right, this is bad time for you to get anything off the ground, and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating right now, and you feel kind of stuck, but also you feel like you're at the mercy of externals right now. You're not holding on well to this wheel. You have to be able to ride this out. But instead, what are we doing? What are we doing, fire signs? We're getting too emotional about this, and we're letting our emotions overwhelm our thinking, which is why I think it's really kind of tied in to this card here. But yeah, you need to try to calm down. You need to try to calm down and give yourself some time to digest this and figure out a way forward.
And all these cards here are court cards, so it sort of represents like the fire signs
Well,
are,
except for that.
except for that, are just going through different personas and trying to figure out what works in a way. But your feelings could be justified because you really want to work with the information, and it's not exactly your fault that this information isn't pleasing to you. You want to figure out what's happening.
You were so hoping for good things, good news to come in, that you were going to be starting something new, whether it was a new job, getting a promotion, whatever the case may be, getting more business, but with Mercury retrograde, I just feel like the timing is against you, fire signs in particular right now. And how do you turn that frown upside down? Well, by really getting your emotions in check, taking a deep breath, and trying to clear your mind so that you can come up with the right strategic moves you need to make. Or decide that you're going to wait a while till conditions improve, if you can. I realize if this is a matter of somebody being unemployed or not having money for groceries, etc., you got to come up with some solutions now. But consider stopgap measures and think long term of a solution that will work for you long term, meanwhile, while you have something to tide you over.
So it sounds like basically either way, pulling up the big person panties.
Oh, you like saying that at this on this show. Yes, it does. It does. And it's interesting too to mention the fact that not only that, we have no kings here, which is interesting. We have a page, we have a knight, and we have a queen. And I think here there's sort of a progressive quality about this in a way too. The queen is saying you can think your way through this, but you really have to get this knight, that your emotions, which are running wild, in check. Good luck with that. All right, we are on
Water
the
signs.
water signs.
Cancer, Scorpio,
And Pisces.
Pisces.
Scorpio. Somebody's got a birthday next week. Who dat? Well, it ain't this Aries, that's for sure. All right, one more, and I hand it to you, Mr. O. All right. Let's see how the Scorpions fare. Oh, I mean the water signs, of course.
How dare you forget them?
I would not. Oh,
What is making the water signs unhappy or will be?
I'll leave it there. Oh, well, somebody wants to be starting something. It's the Five of Wands reversed. Well, it's not that actually. Scorpios maybe are trying. Scorpios.
Water signs.
The water signs are. I gotta get that out of my head. The water signs are maybe at this point of trying to avoid conflict right now. And maybe some of that conflict could be of their own making. I'm just saying that. And they're trying to avoid the repercussions of that. Or it could be that, people are just picking fights with you, water signs, and you're not up for that. You just want to walk away. You kind of want peace. You're looking for peace. If anything, you're going to try to find a peaceful resolution of this for sure. And maybe you will be capable of doing that, but it's not making you happy to have to deal with the situation.
Well, Mercury's retrograde.
Yeah.
And I wonder if what's making the water signs unhappy is this retrograde is kind of messing with perceptions and making people, the water signs, feel they won't be up for certain arguments or disagreements caused, in fact, by the retrograde.
Are the water signs feeling misunderstood?
Well, they don't know that they're up for this kind of fight or argument.
Okay. All right, well, then how are you dealing or will be dealing with the situation? Uh-oh. It's the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is here, reversed. So how are you dealing with the situation? I kind of feel you're falling back on old patterns of behavior that really are not going to solve the problem. It might be, as a matter of fact, making things a little worse.
That's interesting you said that, because I almost felt with the first card that this was something that started just before now.
Okay.
Then I kind of pushed it to the idea that, of course, it does say what will be making us unhappy.
Right.
But that next card sort of cements my idea or reinforces my idea that maybe some of this has been lingering emotional baggage between you and other people.
That could be.
That's been going on for a while.
And the retrograde has burbled it to the surface.
Right, it's brought it back. It may have been nearly resolved, but the retrograde has sort of forced back the water sign's consideration of a past matter.
I like that.
And it is cups, so it does play into the idea of it being water signs. And Six of Cups energies just make it seem like it's something that maybe is even slightly recurrent, like it's an issue that kind of comes around.
Yeah. Well, also, if you're expecting things that didn't work for you in the past to work for you now, that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen.
So why are the water signs' feelings justified?
It's a repeat card.
I know, I saw it.
It's the Knight of Cups reversed. Well, you water signs, why are your feelings justified? Because it makes you feel mad and sad and unhappy, and disappointed. And so yeah, you feel your feelings are justified because you're disappointed either that, like Mr. O said, you have to revisit a situation again that's burbled up from the past, or that, this can't come to some sort of better resolution.
Well, if water signs are experiencing any kind of codependency, my favorite go-to, this card is saying that your feelings are justified because you now have sulking privileges. You can look visibly hurt in public or with your friends or people that this matters with.
So how can the water signs turn this frown upside down? Oh, wow. It's another repeat card, but from a different reading. It's the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is reversed again. How can you turn this around?
And that's 2 sixes, too, also.
Yeah. We got a 5, a 6, but then we got the Knight, which, of course, the Knight is number 13, which is a 4, right? So it's literally 4, 5, and 6s.
Yeah.
Very
So what is that card? The Six of Wands.
The Six of
Are you feeling, how do you turn that feeling around? Is maybe to some degree you'll have to at least temporarily pretend it never happened and nothing bothered you. You didn't notice that, you weren't getting your two. It resonates.
I don't know. I'm mixed about the
That
six.
doesn't sound like a water sign. So they like to have the credit.
I'm mixed about the Six of Wands reversed because what it might be saying is that you have to accept the fact that you have to accept that this is here and that you can't avoid it and you must deal with it. So you feel as though, maybe any progress that you had made on this in the past, which is gone now it just feels like an empty victory. You don't feel like you've gained any ground. And so what you have to do to turn this around is to finally not walk away from this, not try to avoid it, but really confront it and get it over with.
Right.
Thinking,
It may be you have to take some lumps of some sort,
yeah.
but you're better off having it fini.
And if really it's up to you to kind of, I want to say, compromise or give in the situation, then you might consider doing that because it just might put an end to this for now, maybe once and for all. But sometimes we have to give in, sometimes we have to let go too. So it's up to you to decide how important this is for you. All right, let's recap this and see if we can pull it all together. So here with the Five of Wands reversed, I feel it's almost as if you're trying to avoid a confrontation that's cropping up. And as he pointed out by this card, it might be something that's burbling up from the past, something you are revisiting during this Mercury retrograde.
It may be that you want to confront it, but you don't think you have enough going on to confront it. And so
Could be.
that's what makes you unhappy is you have to, just let it fester there in the background.
Right, you may feel not in a good place right now to deal with the situation. That's very true. And the Six of Cups is also saying here when it's reversed that you need to not approach this, if this is especially something from the past, you need to not approach this on water signs in methods that haven't worked before. Because obviously, if it's coming up again, if it's burbling up again, the old way didn't work. So you've got to try something new.
Agreed.
And
Knight of Cups, the way you're dealing with this, in my opinion, was maybe you feel you want to be more publicly sulky.
you want to make your frustrations known, I feel here. You just, in a way, though, that's not avoiding the situation, like I said, but I can almost see that. You're kind of being pretty demonstrative about how this is making you feel. And, your emotions are upset by this whole thing burbling up again. And how you can turn that frown upside down is accept some concessions here. Be a gracious loser if that's the case. And, you have to accept defeat here. Be a gracious loser or be a conscientious winner and uplift the other side rather than make them want to come back and fight this out again.
The
Right?
choice is yours, water sign, because this card suggests that sometimes you like being a victim and you just need to say no.
That's what we have for the water signs. Good
All
luck
right.
with that. Let's go
So
with
now
the
we're going
earth.
to move on to earth signs.
Yes, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn.
My deal. My deal.
Oh, you want me to deal first for the world?
I do. It's important.
Good, because the cut is on you. What's making me unhappy right now is stiff neck. I can't really blame my workout for that, I don't think. I did a lower body workout. I blame the cold weather for this.
So you're watching this on Wednesday evening. I believe I'm timing it for 7 o'clock. And we're just reminding you, anyone who's watching, that we are not doing our live stream tomorrow night, Thursday night. Something has come up and we won't be doing that. But it will return the following Thursday, as well as the rest of our recorded programs. And of course, happy hour and our live stream on Sunday. All right, Earth signs. What is or will be making you feel unhappy right now? Oh, no go. No go. You have no motivation, or you actually feel you are in retreat of a situation.
Hey, are you having car problems during this Mercury retrograde? That's a common
Oh
occurrence
my
in
goodness.
our
Okay.
household.
So, yes, Earth signs. And of course, I get the feeling that these days it's always connected to the electronics, but car or vehicle aside, the chariot reverse could indicate you're unhappy because something you thought you were moving forward to conquering or accomplishing, you may find you're in retreat. You're not advancing, you're in retreat.
Are you also experiencing airport delays and cancellations of flights with what's going on in the
That would,
US? And this could also affect maybe travelers from other parts of the world coming here. I don't know how that's affecting international travel right now, but I can say that things are a mess. So travel's kind of on my mind because of the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday in a week and during this period. And also, Mercury's still going to be retrograde during Thanksgiving. I think it goes direct on the 28th, I think.
the person we talked to today was talking about plain frustrations of family to travel. And of course, it's not even Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
This is probably a good metaphor or symbol of that kind of stuff. And it's bumming the earth signs out.
It's bumming the earth signs out, or anything that you wanted to get underway that is stalled, stuck, and it could be you. Maybe you have a mental block and you're unable to move it forward at this time.
So, how will you be dealing, or how are you dealing with this unhappiness? Hey, don't drink and drive. Get out of that chariot if you're drinking.
Could you be indulging? Yeah, I almost sense that here. Drowning your sorrows is not going to make the situation any better, first off. And secondly, just getting yourself so bent out of shape that you feel like everything's out of control now. There's chaos in your life. You can't seem to make anything happen. That's just not going to be good. You really have to pull yourself together here, I feel.
Even if this isn't about being immoderate in habits and trying to numb yourself in some way, or control the pain, it could also be about the fact that you're having a hard time handling your emotions. If you're missing important dates or flights or situations, you're bound to get a little bit angry, and it doesn't do good when the service person looks at you and said, "Try to be calm, sir." That never works.
Oh dear. All right.
Well, Ursans.
How are your feelings justified? Or why do you feel they're justified?
Yes, because you can make this better. You can defeat what is trying to work against you. Or you are in fact feeling that your feelings are justified because it's really gotten that bad.
Bam. I think that, your feelings are justified because you were hoping for, to move forward, to move to better days. You are hoping to move to better days, and it just, maybe this trip, for example, for those of you traveling, you've been looking forward to this trip for a long time, whether it's visiting family or just having a good time, and now you're stuck. And also, if it's something that you wanted to start up and do, you're frustrated because you were thinking this was going to improve your life in some way, or um improve your sense of happiness, your feelings of happiness. So now you feel like sad. You feel like sad. How's that?
Shadow appeared and is now picking away at the wallpaper.
Shadow should not be
Please
doing
stop
that.
that, Shadow.
Shadow.
Let me find it.
Shadow, come here. What are you doing? You stop that. You know that. That will make me unhappy. How do we turn that frown upside down? Well, the Knight of Swords is reversed here. Another card of movement reversed. But I think what this is saying is don't make any careless or reckless moves or decisions right now. Try to ride this out as best you can. Try to make the best of a bad situation right now. And I feel like if you behave recklessly, aggressively, like Mr. O was talking about being rude to the people at the desk at the airport or whatever, or if there was a snafu at your hotel, that's going to get you kicked out. And it's not going to get you what you want. So, try to keep your emotions in check and not let things get out of control.
A lot of what's making you happy is the fact that things aren't connecting the way you want. Your motivation or your ability to proceed is causing everything else. And so the way you can turn that frown upside down is to take it down a level and to realize that sometimes speed is not worth something worse, and that sometimes
Haste makes waste.
you can make more of a problem by trying to be aggressive and rush things along. So you have to put that in check a little bit.
All right, so let's recap real quick here. We've got the Chariot. It's not moving. Things are not moving for you. Whether you were planning a trip or travel, you might have to make alternate plans. Flights have been canceled. You may have to rearrange your work schedule. It could also be just something you've been doing is sputtering and not moving forward for you right now. The timing, I don't want to just blame everything on timing, but I guess I can blame it a little bit on the retrograde for sure.
It's something that just basically de-accelerates you or puts you in a sense of retreat. You're not really moving forward on things, and there are things that are important, so it's very irritating and unhappy.
And you're letting yourself go. You're either, letting your emotions get the better of you, and it could indicate to me that too you're trying to, mask it or make yourself feel better by indulging too much in, food, drink, etc., being in excess. You need to find balance and harmony so you can work your way through this thing that's making you unhappy.
This is not normally the way you do things, so some of this could be the influence of the retrograde. I'm just going to say that. And so hopefully as you work through the retrograde, you'll be able to find better ways of dealing with, those emotions.
So,
are your feelings justified?
Are your feelings justified? Yes, because you were hoping for better days that you could, pick up the pieces or pick yourself up and make alternative plans or whatever quickly. But, this has been very frustrating for you.
There's a bit of doubt on whether or not you will totally reverse that or not. Right. You sort of feel like it could happen, but you're looking at what has happened.
So don't make any reckless moves. Don't make any reckless moves, choices, or decisions. Maybe it's best to think things through and ground yourself before you make your move.
Exactly.
And that's what we have for the earth signs.
All right, now the moment we've all been waiting for.
The world, what's going on in the world, what's making us all unhappy. And you shuffle first.
I will. And someone's going over there to pick up the wallpaper again.
Shadow.
Leave it alone.
Shadow.
Stop it. Yes, I gave you a little spank. Move it.
Why are you doing that? Why do you want it? Oh.
Because it's coming undone and we haven't reached.
Shadow has a way of trying to get our attention, and it's close to dinner time for Shadow. And so it's in that time frame where Shadow starts bothering me for a meal.
Don't we just love them, though?
You have 45 minutes, Shadow. Deal with it. Hey!
Someone left the door open.
Should
I lure her out and close the door?
We'll deal. I'll try to keep her busy here.
All right, so this reading, as we said, is for the world. This is a collective view. It may not necessarily hone in on all the multitude of ways, but it may be a gestalt of the one thing that seems to be kind of true for more people than not. Or we're saying that.
She's going back there. All right, world. What is making you unhappy?
I have to give her superscriptions. Oh,
All the uncertainty. Oh, you've got to get there. All the uncertainty. Apparently, it's the moon reversed. We are getting repeat cards. It's really interesting, though, the way they're coming up. So, definitely for the world, I feel there is so much uncertainty right now, so much polarization, not just between people in countries, but also with the world. There's a lot of disunity and disharmony right now. And so all of this uncertainty is making a lot of people on edge.
the moon is the Earth's companion. Its satellite is companion. And so it is that it rotates, that we never really see one side ever. And so that's the idea here, maybe, is that we are unhappy because we know we're carrying the weight of the world with us, but nobody knows exactly what it is that has happened or what needs to be done. There's just too much mystery and uncertainty.
Next one.
How is the world dealing with, or will they be dealing with this?
It's the Five of Swords.
Uh-oh.
Reversed.
Fear causes problems. Fear and the possibility of being subjugated causes more problems than it makes it. It maybe makes situations feel totally untenable.
Totally hopeless.
So many of us are dealing with the idea that they feel something horrible could be happening. We may be thinking about this subconsciously. I don't know that this is something everybody thinks about, or maybe it really is a gestalt to the world, but we are feeling that really the chips are down. It is the 11th hour.
Of course, our readings aren't always going to be for everybody, but I think in general we can say here that there's a lot of people just washing their hands of this situation. They're done. They just decide there's no way this is going to straighten out, and there's nothing that they can do about it. So they've given up.
Right. There's no power differential that enables anybody to do anything right now against whatever situations are happening.
And so what I'm trying to say here is that, it feels like it's a losing battle, and that's how a lot of us are dealing with it. And some of us are just throwing up our hands and saying, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm just one person. What can I do? Oh boy.
So, as if that didn't feel that way the most, but why are the world's feelings justified?
Well, it's another knight. It's the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Well, why are feelings justified? Because we feel that
the solutions are obvious, but they're not.
Did you interrupt me?
Yes, I did.
The feelings are justified because things are not moving. We feel like we're not moving forward, we're moving backward. And I think that's worldwide. We feel like, we started building all these great things for ourselves, and yet, but due to our own behavior and our inability to work together with one another, it seems to be all falling apart.
There's no way we can feel that the world is not more stagnated than we have the ability to change anything. That's really what that Knight of Pentacles is saying, is that we can't seem to shift gear. We can't.
Well, and he also, he moves very slowly. We also feel that, that the changes maybe that are necessary are going to take too long. And, for example, let's look at what's going on with our climate problem and, the earth. And so if you believe that there is some serious stuff going on with climate and that maybe we should be trying to do something to mitigate this, clearly whatever we could do is going to take so much time now. We've kind of dropped the ball on that, right?
Final card. How does the world turn that frown upside down?
We have
Or does it?
We have 2 5s in this reading.
It means energy.
And it's the 5 of Wands again. Yep.
The world has to learn how to cooperate and work with the world. And it's not just the most fierce and awesome power holders. It really is a coalition of the world. Major parts of the world are being affected by the policies of just a few.
Right. And, when I look at the 5 of Wands reversed in this final position here, this is about finding ways to achieve common ground and work towards the things that affect us all. We should be concerned about the things that affect us all. We all have commonalities here, but yet we focus on our differences. And instead of trying to look at everybody's point of view and perspective and ideas, we shut them out. We should try to find a way to listen to one another and agree upon a course of action.
All right, let's sum it up.
Uncertainty, a lot of uncertainty in the world is making us all nervous, anxious, and unhappy. We're just never sure what's going to happen next or when the next shoe is going to drop.
And it really is because all of this is happening maybe at a glacial kind of pace, as we will see, that just information and or progress is dribbling.
We need to put down our swords. Right now, we feel, though, as if everything is hopeless. Everybody's fighting with one another. Everybody is at odds with one another and not recognizing, our common humanity. And so the thing is that people are giving up. A lot of people just are washing their hands of this. There's nothing I can do to change this. What's happening.
I'll leave it with that.
And then finally here, why do you feel justified, world? Well, because, some people feel that any changes that we could make are just going to happen too slow because things have been happening too fast now. Things are ratcheting up and they don't feel like, they can have the time to turn this around. And also just that everything seems to be stuck in this mindset and position right now. There seems to be no way to move it forward.
Our feelings are like we're trying to fix a major problem as if we're fixing a flat tire.
Ooh, well, that can be a major problem for me. So, ultimately, what do you need to do? We need to start respecting each other more. We need to start listening to each other more. We need to start trying to find ways, things that we can all agree on, to even start moving the needle bit by bit in a more positive, constructive direction. Because here, I think with even this Knight of Pentacles, I forgot to mention this again, but I think it was really important. Your feelings are justified because you feel as though we're going backwards instead of forward. And we should be moving forward. Technology is moving on without us. Why aren't we also, accelerating our growth?
We can make a good start by choosing not to engage in those battles. But without that realization that we have to work together, we may still be going backwards. We may be retreating from things that we have to resolve, even if we don't like what we have to do.
Well, that's sure an interesting reading, and so were they all.
Indeed.
So I want to thank everybody for joining us for the Unhappy Hour. Please like this show if you've liked what you've seen here, and do come back again. And if you're not a subscriber, how about subscribing? We'd love to have you be a part of our tarot tribe.
And we have all kinds of content daily and otherwise, so check us out on any of our media. We are TFT, Tarot for Today.
So until we meet again, take care, everybody. Try to turn those frowns upside down, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.